And then here's the problem with the program in question, AEW Dynamite. We went from that where the fans were with these people for all the reasons we mentioned, and they're interested, and it's fresh and it's different. And then they go to a video package of Pockets' problems with the plumber. And there's Orange Cassidy conflicted because he might be the only one that can save us from this evil group of merry misfits following this fucking bald-headed dipshit around. And again, the dichotomy here. How about that word? The paradox, which, by the way, is not a place to park two boats. MVP's group looks, works, and talks like stars and know how to present themselves, and they've been here for a month, and they're more over than Moxley's bunch that's been around in various stages for years. Am I lying? If I'm lying, I'm flying. My feet ain't left the ground.
No, not only that, but they're bigger than them. They look more imposing than them. And the manager of that crew can kick the shit out of the entire team of the John Moxley bunch.
The only one that fits in the Hurt Syndicate is Marina Schaefer. And then, so they follow that package up. Here comes the Death Riders entrance. Death Riders in the sky.
I guess it worked better than Johnny and the Good Boys.
What about, who was it, Eddie and the Cruisers? Here comes Eddie and the Cruisers.
They even made a sequel to that crap.
Their brands were still on fire, and their hoofs were made of steel. Their coats were black and shiny, and their heartbeats you could feel. The Death Riders come out, but here's the thing.
We ride death.
And put him away wet. See, you're going to cough now, aren't you? Here's the thing. Their Death Riders entrance video, for whatever this fucking somnambulistic music they got going on, it sounds like a funeral march in Czechoslovakia. But the Death Riders video is on the screen, but these chuckle fucks are still entering through a back door and walking out into the crowd. So you can't even shoot them and their entrance video. And the people start looking at the video because it's on this goddamn 80-foot screen. And here these fucking nitwits are just wandering around in the crowd with one spotlight on them.
Well, the other thing is they wander into the arena, even when Moxley's with them, and they walk to the ring with security there. Security's waiting for them when they walk out, and then they walk with them.
Well, yeah, because if insurance liability, it has to be a planned entrance and it has to be supervised. They're going to all this trouble just so these fuckers can just walk in through the arena. Like, we know they work there. In their minds only. It was cool when they had the wild thing and it's one guy doing it, or now with Jey Uso, because it's audience participation and they wave and they yeet and everything. But this was just, there's no excitement. And so it's Claudio and Wheeler and Pac. And then Pockets comes out to the stage by himself and just stands there in the entrance way like, okay, I'm ready to fight. And he has a weird stance when he's bowing up like he's mad, because you can tell he's never got to be mad at anybody before, because they'd slapped the fucking teeth out of his mouth and his head would have looked like a goddamn jack-in-the-box. But Claudio and Pac go to get him, and suddenly Darby appears on the top of the tunnel and does a dive off onto both of them. And they just do the big four-way indie-style fight on the ramp and the floor, and then the ref rang the bell when they got in the ring. And look at Pac. He's not tall, but he's jacked. And then look at Claudio. He's tall and jacked. And it looked like a kid and his divorced uncle picking a fight with two bodybuilders at Gold's Gym.
The white nationalist Simon and Garfunkel.
I mean, it's just...
Based on the gimmick.
Well, I don't care what it's based on. It's fucking visually funny. And this went on and on. On and on. It just kept on going. And the more it went, it kept on blowing. On and on. So the mascot made a comeback on the two giants. And there was a bunch of dives and spinning about. And the mascot allegedly knocked out Claudio and Wheeler with one punch each. The Superman punch that has been downgraded to the Jimmy Olsen's blues in my mind. And then he went to punch Pac, but Marina Schaefer came in and just kicked the referee out of the ring. And then there's Moxley, and he grabs pockets in a sleeper, but Darby gets in there somehow with his skateboard and whacked Moxley with the skateboard. And then Wheeler got on Darby, but Darby beat everybody up. This little fucking... Oh my God, this diminutive pygmy is beating everybody up after he's had the shit kicked out of it. And then Claudio murdered Darby. He just picked him up and just launched him on the floor toward the ring post, and he hit and bounced off. And then all the heels were beating up pockets when Briscoe's music played, and here came Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly and Rocky Romero and Ishii. And as soon as the heels saw that onslaught, they just bailed out of the ring. This was just, it was... What is going on here with these people? And how do they think that any of this is ever going to register when it's just chaos with a dozen people every goddamn week?
Yeah, and again, AEW is not really a self-aware company, and Tony Khan's not really good at addressing his personal faults with booking or stopping other people from having really bad booking ideas. It's clearly not working either. And the other problem is, you can't ask anyone, even if they're an AEW fan, to explain it. If you just tuned in this night and you were sitting with an AEW fan and said, oh, what's going on? Why is this guy trying to murder that guy with that choke? Oh, you see, he wants to hurt everyone to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, because they don't appreciate their jobs, so he wants to kill them and bury them in the desert.
Yeah, what is this? It's so bad, and it's not resonating. And you're coming from the Hurt Business, which is Major League, and it's getting Major League over, and it's working with those fans. And then you go from that to an amateur hour. Two guys, I guess AEW should just have a 160-pound weight division. They'd be loaded. But when you have those guys beating up or staying equal with Pac and Claudio, and then it goes right to the Moxley angle, which isn't working at all. Losing Wild Thing, like you said earlier, was a big expose on how over he isn't.
And they're seriously thinking that somehow, just because Tony thinks he's cute or whatever the fucking attraction is, that Orange Cassidy can be a serious addition to the roster and be put in a money position and expected to produce, which is ludicrous. And
but they're going to shove it. They're going to make it happen. That's the problem. It's not about, well, this isn't working, we need to change course. No, they're going to make it happen to say they made it happen.
Well, but they're not going to make it happen. It's going to happen, but it's not going to draw.
Right, well, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So they're not going to make it happen where it's like, oh, we finally pushed him over. No, you're going to push him off eventually. There will be a precipice somewhere, but